but we are very, very grateful that you've made space for us today to engage with us. And it's also interesting to look at the evolution of something that's gone from concept to idea. Around Africa was born. We had this very dynamic yellow banner, and to try and get everybody around the table and think the same way and put our heads together was really special. And I must leave a shout out to Massimo da Silva from Visual Focus, who very eloquently created our narrative. I also must turn around and celebrate my fellow representatives in the boutique representation space. We are not big businesses, but Kim, when I phoned her, she was that first pioneer, and I said, Kimmy, I want to do this. She immediately raised her hand and said, Roots, let's make it happen. What do you need? Eddie, I've met, I've engaged. And what I love about Ed is when I started talking to him about the layers beyond my business, he was so curious and started making videos on social media and sharing. And I just want to salute Ed for his incredible enthusiasm and his great impact and contribution to today. And Thabang, when we were down and out during the pandemic, launching my business, your business, you were just the wind beneath my wings. And I say that not loosely. You are an absolute icon in this industry. And for me personally, it means the world. So without further ado, I want to kick off our second around African 80 minutes, dynamic storytelling opportunity to leave you inspired. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And Thabang, in this session, you are going first. Is that right?
Yes, indeed. Ooh la la.
Excellent. So please drive. Don't smash the car. I'm trusting you with it.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me share the screen. The first rodeo was a bit hectic, but hopefully
it's working.
Yay. Woohoo. So a very warm welcome to everyone. Rudi, Kim, Eddie, thank you so much for being part of this. Rudi, thank you for making this happen. Oh my goodness. So let me first introduce myself. My name is Thabang from Poised Solutions. So Poised Solutions is rooted in Africa, representing the world. So what's exciting is because I am African, I believe in Ubuntu. I am because you are. A person is a person through other people. That is our humanist philosophy that we believe in South Africa. So basically my journey in hospitality has been one of grace, growth, gratitude, shaped by incredible mentors, inspiring colleagues like my colleagues today, and properties that have become part of my journey. So I just want to walk you through my journey. Some of you we've met whilst I was working for some of these iconic, properties or brands. So it all started off in Stellenbosch University, South Africa, Port Alfred. It's chaired by Adrian Gardner from Mantis Collection. So shout out to Mr. Gardner. My first work experience was at the Saxon. So I'd like to pay homage to Mr. George Cohen for believing in a small little intern, believing that she'll be able to make it in this industry. I worked closely with Diane Parker, who I met at the Saxon. She basically asked me to relocate with her to do the opening of the one and only Cape Town in 2009. So that was mind-blowing. From there, my first managerial position was at the 12 Apostles as guest relations manager under the leadership of Clive Bennett. So after finding my feet at the 12 Apostles, Clive Bennett swapped with me. He moved to the one and only. We played tag team there. And then I worked closely with Horst Fraser. He's like a darling of the industry, learned a lot from him. I also have worked for Marriott International whilst Protea was still finding its feet under the Marriott umbrella. I met the lovely Kim at the Cape Grace Hotel whilst I was still in operations and as a small little sales executive. And that's where I actually started learning what sales representation is all about. And Kim, I have so much admiration for you. So I feel so honored and privileged to be doing this alongside you. I worked closely with Adam Beeden as well when I worked for Minor Hotels, looking after Anantara and Avani, Sub-Sahara. So this was my first real travel into the rest of Africa. So what an honor and privilege. Adam Beeden gave me the opportunity to relocate to the Seychelles. So I lived and worked there for 2.5 years during COVID. It was mind-blowing. So mind-blowing enough that it inspired me to start my own company, 𝗶𝗶 Solutions. 𝗶𝗶 Solutions was birthed 3 years ago. And as Rudi mentioned, when I started, he had also started his company. And we've been at this ever since. Rudi, thank you so much for being such a visionary and for your heart for this industry. And I look forward to working closely with you, together with Kim and Eddie, for turning this experience that we have into purpose for the greater good of our industry. I'd like to also pay homage to Yvonne Mthengwa, who owns Travel Essence magazine, as she was kind enough to showcase me in her magazine. So basically, Travel Essence magazine is all about showcasing Africa and its excellence. So what an honor. In brief, 𝗶𝗶 Solutions is all about collaboration, connecting, and advocating for brands with heart and vision. So I have the honor and privilege of basically representing 2 beautiful properties in 2 different destinations. So the first one being 𝗳𝗑𝗍𝗪 Beach Resort and Wellness. It is managed by the Banyan Tree Hotel Group, but the owners are very hands-on because it's a franchised property. The 𝗳𝗑𝗍𝗪 basically has a very deeper meaning. 𝗳𝗑𝗍𝗪 was birthed a couple of years ago. So the owners bought the land because the husband wanted to pay homage to his wife. So it's a bit of a love story, like the Taj Mahal of Mauritius. So they built the property together. And 3 years ago, they rebranded it to 𝗳𝗑𝗍𝗪. It used to be known as Angsana Balaclava, but 3 years ago, they said they wanted to basically go back to where it all started. So quite precious. We are going to walk through our luxury suites and villa. We have amazing culinary experiences. I'm not saying this because I represent the property, but the food here is absolutely amazing. When the rebranding took place, the owners made sure that we add in wellness in the name, because wellness is quite on trend, but we really are rooted in wellness, and you'll see why as I walk you through the presentation. So where we're located, we are in the northwest coast of Mauritius in a very sheltered cove by Turtle Bay. So it's a year-round destination option, to be honest. We are 20 minutes away from Port Louis, 20 minutes away from Grand Bay, and a short 10-minute drive to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Golf Estate if you have any golfers. So our unique selling point here is if you're looking for a total seclusion and privacy option, 𝗳𝗑𝗍𝗪 ticks that box. We have amazing suites that have heated pools as well, which I'll walk you through. And we have an amazing hydrotherapy pool. This is the look and feel of our resort. So we basically made sure that we remain as sustainable as possible. So we've used a lot of granitic rocks that were originally found in the area. Our suites are quite spacious. So we have our Lagoon suites, 72 square meters. I mean, we can fit a family of 4 here comfortably. Our luxury pool suites, this is where you start having your pool suite category. We have 34 suites that have heated pools, which is amazing because even during winter, you can still enjoy a dip. And then our most popular suites are the luxury oceanfront pool suites right there by the beach upstairs. Our honeymooners really love this option. We have these amazing handcrafted bathtubs in the beachfront suite categories. So the beachfront suite categories, bathtubs are strategically positioned for you to enjoy the beautiful views of the ocean as well. 180 square meters in size is where you'll find the beachfront pool suite downstairs, a stone throw away from the beach. So On the next slide here, I also have our 1 to 4 bedroom beach imperial villa. I mean, this is perfect for your multi-generational travelers, friends traveling. When you book the beach villa category, you basically get your own dedicated butler, the works. So it's absolutely amazing. Because we take wellness very seriously, we also have 3 sanctuary suites that are built inside the spa. So you don't have to walk far. You literally live in the spa. These 3 suites are available upon request as an FYI. And then because we take wellness so seriously, we have a wellness consultant where we can actually curate your wellness journey. So ranging from your menu, your activities, and what's also lovely as well is we do have a wellness program that is available for non-resident guests as well. So some of our neighboring properties or neighbors can also enjoy that as well. So currently we have a relaxation, fitness, weight loss, detox, and beauty wellness program. We have a lot to do here at the property. So if you book the pool suite category, you can easily enjoy a beautiful floating breakfast. We can arrange a wedding on site. We have our wedding planner available. We can arrange cooking classes, cocktail making classes. I mean, you are spoiled for choice here. We have an amazing wine cellar as well, so guests can enjoy decadent wine tasting anywhere around the property. In terms of other activities, non-motorized activities are complimentary, such as your paddle boarding, your snorkeling. As soon as you have a motorized option, like your catamaran option, that comes at a small fee. So I'll share that with you as well. So Christmas is around the corner, or the festive season is upon us. I'm sure you've seen that in our local shops. Christmas decorations are out already. So our Christmas menu, New Year menu, New Year's celebrations menu are all available. So I have everything ready for you there. We currently also have our Secret Escape offer, which is available till next year. And then our Sun-Kissed offer, which is available till the end of this month. And that is our beautiful 𝗕𝗫𝐻𝑇's Once Upon a Time, our 𝗕𝗫𝐻𝑇 Mauritius. So now we're crossing over to Kenya. So this is quite an amazing project. 𝗕𝗫𝐻𝑇 Retreat is in Naivasha, and it's due to launch, wait for it, next month. So that's just the story behind 𝗕𝗫𝐻𝑇. We basically have joined forces, myself with Logistics Professional Hospitality Solutions. Logistics Professional Hospitality Solutions is owned by Sean van der Merwe and Neil Steedman. They are ex-Wilderness Safaris general managers. So 2 years ago, they decided to basically start their own logistical consultation company where they help owners build their their properties from scratch according to their liking and using their expertise. So I'm just helping them as their sales representation. So 𝗕𝗫𝐻𝑇 Retreat is located inside the beautiful Green Park Estate in Naivasha. For those that are not familiar with Kenya or Naivasha, Naivasha is a 2-hour drive from Nairobi. So most of the time, Naivasha features when it's incorporated into itineraries to the Mara, for instance. But the owners of the property believe that Naivasha can be a destination on its own where you can enjoy Kenya at your own pace, So in terms of flights, we also do have a basic landing strip. So in terms of charters, the charters can land there easily. There is a self-driving option, but I don't recommend driving yourself in Kenya. Rather leave it to our experts to drive you around, to be honest, in order for you to enjoy. We basically are introducing a different concept. In Naivasha, we are the first to put our hands up to offer a luxury villa experience. So when you book our villas, you basically get assigned your own butler and your own chef. So all your meals are made in your villa. And it's such a unique and different, experience. But what makes us more delightful and exciting is that it's around sustaining the local community, the Kasarani community. So majority of our team members are from there, and a lot of them have been taught from scratch everything about hospitality. So it's quite an amazing project, and this is something that we are hoping it will basically grow from strength to strength. In terms of our features of the accommodation, we have 3 villas in total. Olorian is a 3 ensuite setup. Lelisha House is a 4 ensuite villa concept, and Olarai is a 2-bedroom ensuite villa concept. So that's how it looks like, more or less. We have a lot of activities that you can enjoy from this side of the world. I mean, did you know, for instance, that there are 70 rose farms in Naivasha? So, those small fine facts are what really make Naivasha as well. So what we've done as well is we took pictures already of what to expect, of how it's going to look like, or how it looks like. I was there last month, and we're making good progress. So by end of this month, we'll be up and running and ready for our first guests in November. So very, very excited. There's a lot to do here. We've highlighted some of the activities that you can enjoy. So I'm very excited, and I look forward to basically walking this journey with you, where you actually get to be part of the Kasarani community, where you can go and engage with the community and see, what Olelisha Retreat is all about. What's also exciting is we have, we invest in local talent. So Chef Tevin, for instance, is from the community, and we have our own garden that he looks after. So everything that is made in the kitchen is freshly picked from our own garden, which is absolutely amazing and very on trend. And in terms of other activities that you can enjoy, for instance, for game drives, our closest game driving partner is Chewy Lodge, which is a 45-minute drive. All these images that you see here were actually taken from Chewy Lodge, which is absolutely amazing. That's Lake Naivasha at the bottom there, where we can arrange that excursion as well. So guys, what an honor, what a privilege. There's a lot I can tell you about, but there's just simply not enough time. So thank you so much on my side. Galeboha asante sana. I really hope I made it in time because there is quite a bit to do. So our STO rates are available. And I have reached out to a number of key partners in Kenya and in South Africa. So if you'd like to learn more, please reach out. I look forward to journey with you. So yeah, thank you. Rudi, Kim, Eddie, over to you.
Okay, Kim, over to you.
Good morning, everybody. The privilege to be here today with my colleagues. And as I said on our earlier presentation this morning, because we were up very early for our first session at 6 a.m. with Australasia, I've actually been blessed to work with all 3 of these lovely people in previous roles. Eddie at 𝗬𝗎 Africa back in the day, which is obviously now and beyond. Tabang, we worked together at Cape Grace, as she mentioned, and Rudi and I, prior to COVID, actually both assisted a client together under different representations. So we've been all very lucky to work together. So when Rudi said he wanted to put something like this together, we were all obviously very, very excited. So just a little bit of history about me. I've been in the tourism industry. For those who don't know me, I see there's quite a lot of faces here, or names, should I say, that I do recognize and do know. So thank you again for joining us. Almost 30 years in the industry. Pretty much my whole career, giving away my age. And I started my career at 𝗬𝗎 Africa, and when I had my daughter in 2006, I was looking for something with a little more flexibility and I then joined what was 𝗵𝗂𝗋◄'s Hospitality and represented Cape Grace 𝗵𝗂𝗋's and the Vic Falls Hotel for 6 years, and then started to get asked by clients, would I assist them? So been very lucky that it all kind of fell the right way. Yeah, grown from strength to strength, all with privately owned and managed properties. And I'm going to share my screen now, if I can get the button to work. So the portfolio spans Botswana, Congo, Mozambique, South Africa, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. My longest standing client is Santorini, Mozambique, which I launched 12 years ago. Can't believe it's that long ago already, which is a great combination with South Africa. Or Zim or Bots is where we're seeing people coming from, and ending with us on the beach. My two newest clients are Kruger Safari Lodge in the 𝗂𝗶𝗰 Delta on the western side of the Delta, and Kamba African Rainforests in the Congo. I'm going to just take you on a little journey and just give just one slide for each product, and just give you a little bit of background and information. As you will pick up along the way, obviously all products between all of us are all privately owned and managed, where we're dealing with the general managers and all the owners on a day-to-day basis. And it's all about obviously making sure your clients have an amazing stay when they come to us. So we'll start with Kruger. Many of you know Kruger as part of Red Carnation. In June this year, I was approached by our general manager, Ben, and asked if I would be willing to come on board as a dedicated resource to assist them in the Southern African market. So I joined them on the 1st of July, was blessed to get up there, and I can tell you it is an oasis. In its previous life, it was only a water camp, actually. But the way the Delta's changed over the last few years, we are both land and water, and we can do boating, makoroing, game drives. And I can tell you that the majority of the sightings that I saw in my 48 hours that I was there were all within sight of the camp. So the game is just off the charts, bird life phenomenal. So basically it's a handcrafted love letter to the 𝗂𝗶𝗰 Delta, its wilderness, its people, and its future. And basically, no matter where you're joining us from today, Kruger's story was of renewal, rebirth, and a legacy. And I look forward to helping you guys with Kruger going forward. And for those who are already sending us guests, thank you. And for those who haven't yet, hopefully we'll be blessed to welcome some of them in the not too distant future. Obviously, they're very easy access from Maun, 25-minute flight into our own airstrip. So very, very easily accessible. And to give you an idea of location, not too far from the likes of Mambo, Jau, Nabecha. So yeah, a great location. Then moving on to Kamba African Rainforests. Kamba is probably not a name that's new to you guys. Odzala was under Wilderness Safaris previously, and they also had representation based in South Africa and around the world that have done an amazing job in putting this incredible product on the radar. I've just joined, as I mentioned, beginning of August, so brand new for me and something very, very exciting. And they have 3 camps. They have 3 different sets of itineraries that you can come in on, either a 7, a 10, or 11 night itinerary. At the 3 different camps, your focus is a little bit different on each different species that you might get to see. So at Ngaga, we focus on the gorillas. We only do 4 people on a trek to see them. It's the lowland gorillas. And then at the 2 other camps, things like forest elephant, forest buffalo, beautiful butterflies, hippos, slender-snouted crocodiles, flocks of African grey parrots. So it's basically an oasis. It's basically the size of Belgium, this park, Odzala, and so it's about 13,500 square kilometers. So just to give you a little bit of a feel for the landscape, yeah, out of this world. So we do have bookings where people take over a whole departure. We can take up to 12 people, and the flights come in from Brazzaville, where you would start with us, and depending on how many nights you want to do. So sometimes they book up the whole itinerary, sometimes just an FIT client. So yeah, we look forward to hopefully welcoming some more of your guests there as well. Then moving on to 𝗬𝗪 Kalahari, a brand that is obviously very well known within the industry. I've been working with 𝗬𝗪 for the last 7.5 years as their Southern African representative, and I also look after the UK and Europe. It is the largest private game reserve in South Africa and privately protected area. And just as a reminder of size, we sit at just under 120,000 hectares. If you take the Sabi Sands and double it, that's basically the size of 𝗬𝗪. So it is an incredible landscape, something that is very sort of passionately put together. It is philanthropy at the end of the day, and first and foremost, a conservation project. Many people think 𝗬𝗪's a desert, it's a flat landscape. It certainly isn't. As you can see in the picture here, you've got the Kronenberg mountain range that runs through the property. That is 𝗬𝗪 in a nutshell, in a very brief couple of minutes. Then moving on to Lush Private Lodge, which is in the Black Rhino Reserve of the Greater Pilanesberg. Also not new to the portfolio, been with me since 2018, owned by the Lupini family. They have a heritage from Italy, and they do things exceptionally well. Many people look at Pilanesberg and they think it won't be the first choice for them to put forward for their clientele. I'd say for people coming off long haul with jet lag, only 2.5 hours from Joburg, it's a perfect start to your itinerary with a road transfer. And then into this beautiful space where nothing is too much trouble. Basically, we do traverse in the Pilanesberg National Park as well as in the Black Rhino. And with it only being 2.5 hours from Johannesburg, a very nice itinerary that you can do is to go onto 𝗦𝗂𝗧 and onto Marataba or Welgevonden, for instance, and all malaria free. So great for families as well. We take children from 10 years old. 𝗦𝗂𝗧 Safari Lodge takes me back to my heritage, back to 2006 when the property launched. It was 𝗬𝗪 Africa back in the day, and then it moved on to more. And in 2020, the owners contacted me during COVID and said they would like to start representing the product under their own family, and would I assist them. So it's doing exceptionally well. We've got a lovely team on the ground. Many actually of the staff are still from 𝗬𝗪 Africa days, so it's quite nostalgic. And still the 3 camps, but we have added a beautiful 3-bedroom family villa now as well. And obviously we all know 𝗦𝗂𝗧 70,000 hectares, and obviously on the biome with the Kalahari and the Lowveld. So you do get to see some of the unique animals that you would see at a 𝗬𝗪, for instance, but also some of the animals from the Lowveld too. So very special. Then on to the Kruger Rockvik Safari Lodge, which many of you are familiar with, launched in 2018. Under the ownership of Bruce and his wife, Glenn Jenkins. Lovely family. They've owned the property since 2010. And in 2018, they were basically told by a friend when she came to visit and stay, who's in the industry, that they should be letting the property available for the market, which they'd never thought about. We have since come full circle, and we have built a brand new lodge, which will be opening on the 15th of January next year. And Bruce and Glenn will take back the current Rockvik as their family bush home. So we've built a brand new guest experience, and we've taken all of the special touches of the current Rockvik, enhanced them, and the new camp will be something quite spectacular with private pools. You'll still have your 4-packs on a vehicle. And we're located very centrally within the Timbervati with our own airstrip. Serondella Safari Lodge, also a family-owned property. They're from Holland. They've owned the property for over 20 years. It was previously under the Thornybush collection, and I'm very lucky to have a good relationship with JB from Thornybush, and we work very closely together. As we all know, we can't work in isolation in this industry, and I think it's probably one of the industries where everyone gets on pretty well. I think we're quite lucky with that. So Serondella on a beautiful waterhole. It's small, intimate. We only take a maximum of 12 people. Great for exclusive use, which we do see quite a lot of, as well as individual FIT bookings, and a lovely team there to look after your guests, either coming in from Hoedspruit or coming into our airstrip, which is the Thornybush main airstrip within the Thornybush Reserve. Tumbo Safari Lodge is pretty new to the market. It did run under a separate name previously. The current owners have had it for 2 years. They're from Italy. She's actually from South Africa originally, but they met and live in Italy and have 3 little boys. They enjoy coming to the bush, and they've spent a considerable amount of money on this property over the last 2 years, renovating it and upgrading it completely. We're in the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Private Nature Reserve, so just behind Hoedspruit, basically, which I'm not sure if most of you will know. The 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is open to the 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, which is open to the 𝗵𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, which is obviously open to the Kruger. So it's an open structure, and great value for money here. If you're looking at currently around 8,000 Rand per person sharing per night, and we have all brand new vehicles, a brand new spa, a brand new gym. All the decor has been redone. So Stefan Pelser, who's our current GM, has done an amazing job with this product, and we've just seen the occupancies grow phenomenally. I didn't mention when I started my presentation that I'm actually coming to you from the Midlands today, where I live. I'm blessed to call this home. And KZN, I feel, is probably one of the most undersold regions within South Africa. And, you know, often people say at Christmas time, oh, South Africa's full because the Kruger's full and Cape Town's full. Normally KZN still has some space. So please do keep that in mind. We've got everything here, the bush, the berg, and the beach. And here in Nottingham Road, I represent Fordoon Hotel and Spa, which is 20 years old, run by the Bates family, which own the land and actually converted what was a farm, a dairy farm, into a beautiful hotel and spa 20 years ago. So for anyone who's putting itineraries together, combining the berg, it's a perfect stop just off the N3, where you can come and enjoy amazing food. The wellness is phenomenal with a beautiful spa, and you can do fishing, you can go walking, you can see the Drakensberg Mountains, and it's very much a home away from home experience. Then moving on to Santorini, Mozambique. Santorini, I think most people are familiar with, just north of Vilanculos on the mainland, looking out onto the islands and the Bazaruta archipelago. As I mentioned, it is my longest standing client. It has grown considerably since I took it on. When I started 12 years ago, we only had the main villa with the 5 suites, and we had the chapel, which was a 1-bedroom suite or villa, which is now a 2-bedroom. We've got Villa de Praia in the distance there to the right of the main villa, which has got 4 bedrooms now. When we built it, it only had 3. And then we've got Villa Nicolina at the back, which is the 1-bedroom villa. So yeah, it's a beautiful space. Post your safari, come and put your feet up, cocktails, going out on the boat, you can go out on the dhow, go looking for dugongs, go deep sea diving. Every guest that stays with us for 3 nights and more gets a complimentary boat trip out to the islands with a beach picnic and snorkeling. So you do get to experience the best of both worlds. Then moving up to Zambia, Kulandila and Tsungani. Tsungani is the overreaching brand, and then 2 camps, Tsungani Lodge and Kulandila Camp, owned by the Davey family. I've been working with them for a year now, probably one of the nicest families in the world, actually. They really are special people. I'm going up on the 1st of November to host a fam trip. Can't wait to get back there. And so Sungani's got 7 rooms, or tents, should I say, and Kulandila's got 4. Kulandila's a little bit more pared back than Tsungani. You fly into Mfui, and from Mfui, we bring you in with a light aircraft into our own airstrip, which you can actually see in the distance there, which is called Luamfa. And then between the 2 camps, Tsungani and Kulandila, it's about 6 kilometers. So they're very, very close. These camps were basically a conservation project built in an area where no one had operated for over 12 years. And our game over the last 4 seasons has just gone from strength to strength with all of the efforts that we've put into the carnivore program, Conservation South Luangwa, putting scouts out in the green season. So Zambia for me is very much a hidden gem. And yeah, I mean, there's no other vehicles where we are. So within 15 kilometers of us is the closest camp to us. So that'll just give you an idea of how remote we actually are. If we want more information, obviously, on any of the products, please do let me know. And then last but not least, Hwange Bush Camp in Northern Hwange, owned and operated by David Carson, who is a legend in his own right. He's in his 50s. He's been guiding for many, many years. He actually was one of the original owners of Camp Hwange, but a few years ago decided to only focus on Bush Camp, and he also actually runs some mobiles in Botswana. But with Bush Camp, it's very much about your walking experience. It's very much about your guide, taking you back to the way the original safari was intended. When I say a bush camp, it's got bucket showers, but flushing blues and running water in your basin, so everything you would expect. But they do focus on a proper walking safari experience, and they also do fly camping. So yeah, any questions at any point, I think you guys have all of our contact details. Please do not hesitate to reach out, and we look forward to collaborating with you further.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kim. There's one little question for you in the bottom that Chano asked you about conservation fees. And then if you can stop sharing your screen, then I can bump in there and
be able to go ahead.
Thank you so much, everybody. Okay, so my name's Rudi, and my business is called 𝗧𝗵𝗯𝗆. Have a look at the website. But sustainability isn't necessarily an ethical or an eco-friendly context that it's used in the English dictionary. For me, it was about representing fewer clients with deeper stories and deeper connections. I started my career working with 3 cities hotels that today no longer exist, but representing up to 50 properties at a stage. And I just decided there's got to be a different way. So under the umbrella of 𝗧𝗵𝗯𝗆, you've got on-demand hospitality solutions, which is a luxury tourism representation business. And then I do not use my profit to buy myself a new car. I have collaborated with 2 Forbes Africa Tech 30 under 30 tech gurus, Tyrone Adams and Siyabonga Tiwana. And we've launched the Tourism Technology Corporation called the TTC, which is a narrative that builds solutions in the technology space for product problems that you've got. Last minute luxury distribution. How do you tip a car guard outside of a hotel? How do you tip a room attendant? So we've got all these curious solutions. Something I've been extremely passionate about is handSHakeSA as a solution for reputation. We started working during the pandemic in the space of children who failed their matric because they were not able to go to their schools. They live in an underserved community. Their parents were not able to give them access to a laptop and Wi-Fi. So what we've done is we launched this with our first pilot program, saying to those kids, find someone in your community that will vouch for you, that will create your showreel as an upgrade to a CV. If you're interested in the projects that we're running, let me know. But in order to obviously fund these crazy, wild ideas, I use luxury tourism representation 4 days a week. And I would invite you to follow me on my Facebook profile, also on my LinkedIn profile, my Instagram profile. I am definitely not precious about sharing my life because it adds another layer. And I think there you can see how Thabang and myself, for instance, had crafted our journey together as new business owners and her stories behind it. So first of all, I would like to spotlight my website. It is new. If you would spend a few moments on it, just clicking around, you'll help me index it. It is difficult as a new business owner getting yourself positioned and indexed. So you'll be making an investment into my social capital. But the other thing that I wanted to spotlight is something that Eddie spoke about. And he said, what's that golden thread that binds us all together? Now, if you go to Swalu, if you go to one of the luxury lodges that most of us represent, you're going to find the Mungo towels because they work in remote locations. They work with certain water qualities in remote locations. Here you can see Singita, for instance, consciously sourced all their textile needs using Mungo. They have a weaving mill in Plett, and I want you to keep that in mind for weaving tours, but I also want you to keep this in mind for gifting for your clients, your agents, something with a story that is conscious, that is family owned and bespoke. So under Sustainable Luxury.Africa, I represent high-end hotels and lodges, but I've also started representing textiles. And I have to say, it's such an interesting journey. Taking you to Cape Town, I want to start building an itinerary. The oldest square in the city is called Church Square, and the private townhouse of Simon van der Stel today is a luxury boutique hotel with 6 suites and a presidential suite called Labotessa. This property is located in the oldest public node of the city, and it is located next to the award-winning restaurant Fame. I want you to keep this in mind because this owner who studied at the Swiss Hotel School in Lyon, will personally meet your guests at the hotel. To me, it represents a little bit of Europe that you've got. It is one of the most gracious greetings that you're going to find in the city of Cape Town. And to me, what makes the difference and what is the secret sauce is the fact that Johan du Plessis, that worked at some of the most notable brands in Europe, will be your host personally. He will meet you at the airport with his vehicle. He will take your client through a recommendation list that has been privately and personally curated. It is just something beyond the ordinary. And on top of the roof of this hotel is a luxury 3-bedroom penthouse, which floats above the city, unlike anything else that you're going to find in Cape Town. Please keep this in the back of your mind. It truly is a space unlike any. The other reason I want you to look at this is I think I'm the only marketing person during We Are Africa that ever took tour operators to church. This is the Grote Kerk opposite the hotel, opposite Church Plain, where Simon van der Stel is buried under the pulpit. We had champagne in the church. We were overlooking the oldest square. Look at this little reel on my Instagram profile called Luxury and History, where I had tour operators cook in the kitchen. We had Nikki Gibbs as our chef. But the hotel also has a really special tea and fragrance pairing by the French perfume mason Diptyque. It is on site, something really unique, 895 Rand, which is a whole sensory journey over 4 hours. Please keep that in mind. From there, you can get a flight out of Cape Town into Hoedspruit Airport. 1 hour, 20 minutes from the airport, you've got Makanyi Private Game Lodge. Proudly a lodge that has no runway next to it, specifically on request by the clients that they want to get lost in Africa. Voted by Condé Nast this year as part of the top 5 in South Africa. Its neighbors are Romolewan on the Thornybush side and Ngala on the Timbavati side. But what you've got is a lodge where 𝗳𝘂𝗂𝗍 is a single owner, wanted to create that narrative where you get lost in Africa. No door that you've got on the game viewer because they are in and out guiding. And with all the products I represent as fully independent properties, your clients are placed at the center of the universe of everything that the teams do. There's no value in anyone having an opportunity to have a complaint because we can never refund you your time. This lodge also proudly does not take any little guests under the age of 12. Please keep this in mind. I cannot make exceptions unless you book out the entire property. If you book out the entire property, you get a very special little value add that means you pay for 14 guests instead of 16. 3 vehicles, but the secret sauce at Makanyi is that your clients on 8,000 hectares will get lost in the African wilderness. You will go and guide the way that guides guided back in the golden days and age of safari. If you're in a high-profile sighting, you are not going to spend the whole day being pushed by other vehicles saying you got to move out. This is your opportunity to be in Africa the way that the explorers of days gone by had explored it. And to me, there's no value in standing in front of you and sharing fluff with you that's not going to deliver. Makanyi will use your name. Makanyi will have a product that is high-end, but this was my first stay at Makanyi during January, and Charles, the head guide, really made my eyes pop, understanding what it means to simply spend that time with those animals in the wilderness as a once-off safari experience. That is something that your clients have either dreamed about or saved for a long period. Makanyi will deliver that experience with absolute exception. And that's not something I just say. Shiviko Kruger is located 6 kilometers outside of the Paul Kruger Gate, overlooking the Kruger National Park. What you've got is 36 kilometers from the airport at 𝗧𝗂𝘁𝗂𝘁. If you're working on any last-minute inquiries, keep any of these 4 villas in mind. They are run by Anica and Michael Jones, who I met in Botswana. They used to be the general managers of the Cylinder Camp. And what they produce is an opportunity to go and see the luxury that lies beyond the Kruger National Park. They've got V-Class Mercedes that will take your clients to go and see the Graskop Gorge, the highlights of the panorama route, a little bit kind of like escape and explore of the Lowveld. It is something truly unique, brand new, listed on Where2, and also fully kosher. I'm very proud of what this team has accomplished over the last 8 months since opening, and Shiviko Kruger places families at the center of everything that they do. And I think this is something that I really want to spotlight with you. If you've got little guests, a lot of lodges say, oh, we're welcoming to kids, but at Shiviko, we've got a soundproof cinema, we've got slippy slides into the pool, we've got a slushy machine, a popcorn machine, and I would not have taken on this project if it was not for Mike and Anica Jones. They are 2 hospitality extraordinaires, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for what they've created. So you can pair this beautifully with a private presidential suite that sleeps 6 at Labotessa. And just a little brief overview. This is Mike and Anica at their property overlooking the Kruger National Park. Game drives into the park, but an opportunity to look at something new, different, and again, as I said, fully kosher. Mosaic Lagoon Lodge takes you into the 𝗬𝗏𝗏, Stanford, which is the Cape Whale Coast, and located from Cape Town just under 2 hours drive. What makes this property absolutely unique, owner, run and managed by Makanyi Through Rudi, but this is not about flash. Mosaic Lagoon Lodge is about taking it quiet. It's about breathing. It is about looking at nature that immerses yourself without contemporary design, but virtually your client experiencing something unlike anything else. And the reason I say this is they've got a newly launched spa with 4 treatment rooms. You're looking at a price point of just under 3,800 Rand per person, land-based whale watching, that opportunity to have an experience where if you've got a client coming in from overseas, they are going to look at this and go, my goodness, I did not know that I can have access to my own private piece of conservation area, beach area. Again, a client and a team that puts their clients at the center of everything that they do. Only 6 suites. And again, you can see the Mungo design, that little golden thread that runs all the way throughout. And to me, it's like an eco lodge. There's no other way of describing it. On the edge of the Hermanus Lagoon, fully inclusive rate works out like $370. I mean, that's all your meals, all your drinks. But at the end of the day, it's about the 47 lives that are being transformed because of Little Mosaic. It's outdoor activities, the fact that you can go and row on the lagoon, the fact that you've got all those activities that you necessarily won't have in a concrete jungle to keep in mind for your clients. So very proud to be representing Mosaic. And again, as I said, US dollars, 370, rack rate, £270, and then a brand new SDO structure on a bed and breakfast basis. A lot of clients still get flown into the city of gold, Johannesburg, and then immediately into a lodge. And you're taking a chance, because if anything goes wrong with your connection into South Africa, your safari experience will be annihilated. Fairlawns, that's represented by Rita and Amanda in the US, is a wonderland experience which celebrates that temperate climate of Johannesburg. They've got a spa destination where $50 will give you an afternoon in the spa. Really special experience from that point of view. But what you've got is a client that can just breathe and take in that immersive experience that you've got in Johannesburg. If you want to play golf, you can play at the River Club that's next door. It's one of the oldest golf courses in South Africa. You can celebrate the pool, the outdoors experience that the hotel's got, but just something truly special and unique, all put together by Michael, that recently featured in the GQ magazine. And I think this is the secret sauce behind the product. Also, a private villa experience. You can see the very handsome model that you've got over there. But I think this is in my new role where I also fit into the properties narrative. I'm not just a marketing extension. I'm there on a regular basis. We get to create magic together. We work together. We go and see clients together. And then I want to challenge you. Instead of putting your client at another airport hotel, drinking cocktails if they've got 4 hours to kill, look at the Victoria Yards precinct 18 minutes from OR Tambo International Airport. Over here, you've got local artisans where you can visit their stores. They will make gifts, artifacts, restaurant. James Delaney, that's the artist, will take you through. Clients have the luxury of time to shop. They work hand in hand with the Joburg gurus. Keep Joburg in mind as a destination beyond just a pause and stop. You can see that anywhere in the world. If you've got kiddies, you've got no malaria. Mhondoro Safari Lodge and Villas located 2 hours, 40 minutes from OR Tambo. We've got our own transfer vehicle that'll cost you 6,500 Rand, and that can move a family of 6. So really good value for money. You've got your welcome lounge at the lodge, farm to table harvest experience. Luke Del Roberts, that's our chef consultant that inspires the menus. So what you've got at Mhondoro is no malaria, food experience, luxury, honeymooners and families. But to me, I can stand in front of you and sing the praises of the lodge constantly. It is about the team on the ground and with this photographic hide that Mhondoro's got, which Renelle, the general manager's wife, met Fritz, her husband, at Shamari 22 years ago, and they deliver on my promises. They ran Mallory, they ran 𝗬𝗏 Safari, they've been at Mhondoro for the last 8 years, and they have one of the most extraordinary underground photographic hides that you've got available in close proximity to Johannesburg, and little touch points. If you, for instance, look at the kiddies play area, the fact that you've got this suite, which has got a client that a ramp can pick you up and take you around. If you've got a guest that struggles to walk, it's all those little touch points that comes with a very experienced team of hoteliers. And that 3-bedroom villa at Mhondoro is a safari at your pace. At 97,000 Rand rack rate, you have the opportunity of putting an entire family together. And if you want to go for a game drive in the afternoon at 3 o'clock and do game drive till 6, that's fine. If you then want to have dinner and go out for game drive at 9 at night, it's totally at your pace. You can structure when and how you want to have that safari experience. And I am extremely proud that one of the leading tour operators and travel designers in the country took this little combo that I'll share with you after my presentation, and they put it into an itinerary for the whole family. I've obviously blanked it out, but I'm a little cheeky by, if you're clever, you'll figure it out. But to have a product that blends with Labotessa's presidential suite, the private villa at Mhondoro, is just something really special. 𝗏𝘂 Horse Safaris is a very experienced horse riding outfit that you've got in the north of the Okavango Delta, which the owner has put together, owner run and managed. It is that Botswana that we all dream about. But because they are in the north of the Delta, owner run and managed, the base camp is Jumbo Junction. It is the very last stop that you've got with Mac Air, a bush camp, donkeys. But I'm so proud of what this team's created, Herman and Louise. very, very passionate in their approach to guest experience. And then Jembisa is no malaria, 45 minutes north of Johannesburg. And I asked Ingram from Escape and Explore, what did he think about his stay? And Ingram's feedback was, this to me felt like my family had our very own game reserve in Africa. Because of Jembisa's flexibility, your children can fish, they've got a slippy slide, they've got the bicycles that'll take you through the reserve. How many reserves have you actually gotten onto a bicycle and cycled through the reserve without having to get special compliances and permissions, play tennis out in the wilderness? It is a really special experience. Jembisa was built by Jane for her family. You can sleep out in the wilderness, 65,000 Rand. Roxanne, that's on the webinar with me, was there recently. You can ask her questions, but just an opportunity to experience that introduction to Africa. And then very lastly, the Old Moor Quarters was completely transformed into independent living and along a heritage street in Cape Town. The owner, Colleen, has taken them over, reimagined them. And for those of you that's in Cape Town, next week, we have our open house market day, a box of Babylon store and vegetables. Together with industry partners, we're doing a workshop plus an inspection of Nicol Street Heritage Cottages together with a site inspection. So if you haven't RSVP'd, I think we've still got about 5 spaces left on that. Thank you for your time. And Eddie, it is over to you. Ed, are you still there?
I am. I'm back.
All right, everybody.
Thank you very much. I was just trying to find the unmute button. You know, that's the hardest thing for a sales guy, especially, you know, sharing the stage with all of you guys. I just want to talk. And so this was the longest 1 hour of sitting and not saying a word. So here we go. You're going to get it. Listen, everybody, thank you very, very much. I mean, like, how humbling is this? It's absolutely amazing to share the stage with everybody on here. Let's get into it. So why does that not want to go forward? There we go. All right. So those of you who know me, my name is Eddie. I've been in the industry since 1997. So it's been a hell of a long time. That's why the hair looks a little bit less. But I also, like Kimmy said earlier, I worked for And Beyond many, many years ago for about 16, 17 years. They moved around as sales director for a few companies up in East Africa. And really a very big thing for me was we from a representation point of view, and just saying how we are put together and our DNA as a company. You know, there was a stage that I probably had, I don't know, you know, probably 12, 15 different representation companies that was reporting to me, etc., etc. And I realized there was one big thing that I thought that was missing in the industry, and that was definitely to say, let's put our passion in behind these brands. It's not just about giving owner 20 meetings in a month. We really get stuck in, and because of my past, we really get stuck in on the commercial side of things. So, and that's also amazing. I mean, you can see these properties growing from literally from opening, or owner would contact you and say, listen, we don't know how these, what are you talking about, STOs and contracts and things. We help them from the beginning. So it's a very, very exciting project. We've been going since 2019. So a long time, Kim, not quite your 18 years, but we're coming for you. So we've been doing it for a while now. Each one of these owners also put all of their passion into the property. So what I want to say to you is, like, instead of you guys also, I mean, a lot of you are business owners as well. You know, if you get that one inquiry, it is vitally important to convert that booking. And I think what happens these days is, like, we all feel a bit like a number. You know, you give this booking into a big corporation and it just disappears, and whether it converts or not. But for you, it's everything. It's that one booking that you need to convert. So I want to say to you that these people that you see in front of you, they're all owners of the companies that we represent. We're going to concentrate predominantly on the lodges and hotels that we represent. But I also want to tell you a little bit about the DMCs that we do up in East Africa. Not precious, however it comes to us, we're always super happy. So we would definitely try and help you with these 3 Fs. Get your clients to fall in love with the property once they're there, because a lot of these owners will greet them personally. You can see photos of their own families in the businesses. We want to send them back home, let them tell all their friends about it. And then just the last F, because Rudi said we're not allowed to use that colorful word, it's freaking come back. That's what we want to do. If you get your guests to travel the first time correctly in Africa, you'll definitely be able to get them back on future safaris. So first what they're going to do is we're going to jump into Botswana, an amazing 2-property portfolio that I've been representing literally since the beginning of our company. Yeah, they made good decisions, like 3 months, or literally a month before COVID, they signed the contract, and as we started working, COVID hit. So yeah, they didn't see too much in the representation in the beginning. But 𝗵𝗨𝗵𝗆𝗐, amazing. I challenge you guys to also not just, it's so easy when you try and convert a booking, when you just go to the old faithful booking, properties and just book the same old every time. But there are so many other experiences that you can have for your clients. For example, like 𝗵𝗨𝗵𝗆𝗐, sure, you need to be a bit of a specialist, which most of you are on this call. So when you are a specialist, you can sell something like, for example, like Vintage Camp that's in 𝗂𝗶𝗰, or 𝗵𝗨𝗵𝗆𝗐𝗆𝗄𝗏 Lodge that's in the northern part of the Kalahari. So let me just, you'll see the same sort of trend going through here, but this is our 𝗵𝗨𝗵𝗆𝗐𝗍 Vintage Camp. That is in the 𝗂𝗶𝗰 community grounds. Here we try and take you back on an old world expedition, like in the old days that you can imagine. Tomorrow you pack up and you leave again. But so there's no fences, no built up buildings around you. We really try and transport you back in time. So in doing that, we also had to be a little bit different. So 𝗵𝗨𝗵𝗆𝗐𝗍 Vintage Camp decided to actually put you into these bell tents. They actually, we've priced them at a solid rate right throughout the year at $1,250 per person per night, and that's fully inclusive of everything. But what we do in these things is I might just say it, in a lot of luxury lodges, I think people get to the point where the guide actually don't even ask you in the morning, did you hear the lions, or did you, because your doors will be closed, your aircon will be on, you wouldn't have heard it. So here we try and take you very much close to nature. And what we might lack in terms of space, we've definitely given you those guest touch points, amazing beds and towels and linen and all of those sort of things. So we transport you back in time because it's family owned. We also have a little bit of fun, so we're not so heavily bound by the rules. So we go and take a little swim. We've got this, I'll say the word relatively safe swimming spot in the afternoons. We haven't lost a guest, I would say, in about 6 or 7 months now. So our safety record is really improving there. So we go and take a little swim, have a drink in the afternoons. We do the normal massages. So we do all the normal stuff, but we also do these little hot tubs that we can move out into the bush, into a little space behind a tree or something, and just set it up just for you and your partner. It's amazing. Just go and have a little bit of fun. It's also it is such a it's only 20 minutes north of Maun with Mac Air, so it's super easy to get into. What we also then do is, this is now the lodge up in the Kalahari. So it's linked by a 1-hour helicopter flight with Helicopter Horizons. Again, sorry, I didn't mention it, but Vintage Camp is also, it's only got 8 tents. Here we only got 8 bedrooms. This place is absolutely amazing. Now you've done your expedition side of things, and we now take you into the lap of luxury in the Kalahari, where you can literally just go and stay your 3 days, breathe a little bit. And a lot of people ask, but if we don't see lions, what do we do for 3 days? with us there are so many activities and things that's different, things that you'll experience once in a lifetime. So sleeping out under the stars in the Kalahari, you've never ever seen something like that. It was really, for me, and even being in the industry close to 30 years, I promise you it was one of my top 3 experiences in my life when we slept there the first time. We only do it for your clients. We leave all of the stuff back in their rooms, so we can go up and down again. I just put this photo in here with the horse riding, so great that you can do the game viewing there. But Rudy, this one is specifically for you, just to show that other properties can also also afford good models. So it's me on the right there, by the way, not in the Bushmans, but by the horses. And so the biggest thing here is also, of course, I mean, it's the Bushman. So amazing Bushman experience. We go and walk with them in the bush for 3-4 hours. We go and visit them at their little camp in the evenings, do a full trance dance. Amazing experience. Pushes you a little bit out of your boundaries. It really joins up beautifully. Some of you would have seen, but we've got an amazing package that combines Mbana Manor Boutique Hotel in Vic Falls with Feline Fields, with the 2 properties. So we do an amazing 9-night itinerary, including all helicopters and flights and transfers and tours and everything. But definitely all of these properties can operate definitely on their own. Now, Mbana Manor is relatively new to us. We only started working with them in March this year, but we've been in contact for a long time. This property, what makes it so unique is that in Vic Falls, if you go and have a look, I mean, most properties, the more expensive they get, also the bigger the properties get. So I absolutely love this, that this is small boutique. The owner, Mati, she's always there. We affectionately call her Doc. She's always there greeting guests as they come in, but it really feels like you're in a rainforest, the way that they did the water going through, and they were super sensitive in the trees, what trees they removed, etc. So you can also see in the rooms that there was that owner's touch to it. She handpicked all the furniture, and I mean, if you do a site inspection with her, she will, I mean, it takes you an hour to go through a room. She would say to you, this chair, now do you know, and she'll sit you down and she'll tell you the story of the chair. And it all adds the layers of passion for me in each of these properties. So in these 18 rooms, we've got Wi-Fi and air cons and phones and, cable television. We even got, I mean, the bathrooms here, it really is truly a bathroom experience at Mbana Manor. Because they're also a hotel, you'll get all of those amenities, all the gowns and slippers and everything, but a complete separate dressing area, absolutely beautiful into your own little courtyard. So even though it's a hotel in the city, you definitely get a lodge feel through it. Something you might not have known is that they added a brand new spa now, 3 treatment room spa, which is at the property. A lot of the offers that we send out also includes the back massages, and of course you can do all of the activities within Victoria Falls. You can book it before the time, or we can absolutely help you when we're there. So that's Zimbabwe and Botswana. Now we're going to head up into East Africa. Very briefly, I just want to touch on Anderson and Harvey. Again, like I say, with our properties, we really don't mind how it gets to us. Anderson and Harvey is one of those DMCs that I think that stands out completely from other DMCs up there. What they've done is their vehicles is number one on the next level, but number two is they put your logo on the back of the vehicle. So in today's social media age, it's absolutely amazing. They put your logo on their iPads, your own personal gifts with your names, everything on it. They really thought about everything. And so they do Kenya and Tanzania. And then last year, we also look at Speak Holidays. Tony Malinde, absolutely amazing guy. They've been going for 18 years now, and they're based in both Uganda and Rwanda. So, yeah, just amazing. If you got guests traveling between the two countries, and if you've ever visited Uganda, I've had the privilege of going a few times. They just, it's so much more than just gorillas. The people are absolutely incredible. And yeah, I mean, I can talk for an hour just about Uganda. Next, we're going to jump into 𝗬𝗏𝗬𝗏 Africa, up in Tanzania, and then we're going to finish off with Upendo. That's in Zanzibar, that we're very excited about. So 𝗬𝗏 Africa, I mean, these guys, and we get so much support into them. I've been associated with them for quite a few, I would say about 5 years now already. But they absolutely punch above their weight in terms of the quality of the product, just in terms and in terms of rate. I mean, they definitely compare up in the low 5-star, super high 4-star. I mean, like that really, really high, nice level. But definitely, I mean, your rates would be $200-300 less than what you would find at a lot of those competitors. And it was done specifically to, it was done on purpose. So beautiful locations. They've got 3 locations. One is here in Tarangire. And it's normally your start of the itinerary. So what we did was we kept it very much a tented feel, but throughout all of the 𝗬𝗏 products, it's like between 8 and 12 rooms. You've got Wi-Fi, fridges in the rooms, all of those sort of things. So everything that you would expect from it, and they all work very, very well together. The one thing that they've got that nobody knows about, or not a lot of people know about, is that the only underground hide in Tanzania is at Tarangire, at 𝗬𝗏 Tarangire. So they aren't, it's quite common in Southern Africa, but we don't find it up in East Africa. I mean, the chefs absolutely hate it because you sit there next to the pool, and then a little jackal comes down and drink, or a pride of lions, and everybody runs down, so then the food waits again. But it is incredible. 𝗬𝗏 also, because they've got little kids, works super well for kids. All kids of all ages allowed, and that's something in East Africa that you don't always find. It's just under 5 years old, you'll need your own vehicle. But that was the one in Tarangire in the wildlife management area. So it's actually quite cool that you can do evening game drives and proper walking in areas that's actually national parks. Now we're heading up to 𝗬𝗏 Mara. This is in the thick of all the action, where all the crossings are happening at the moment. We're about 40 minutes away from 𝘂𝗏𝗄𝗏, from the airstrip, from the crossings, but we're in a beautifully secluded area behind the hills there. This property is insane. You'll see everywhere we've got the glass barriers on the front, so you've got unobstructed views. And the rooms as well. I mean, these rooms are super open, very, very sexy, baths and everything. Absolutely stunning. You can see that the main job at 𝗬𝗏 is definitely washing windows, because we got a lot of windows at this property. Try and mix things up when you're traveling in East Africa. I mean, don't, when you use a local DMC, most of the times when you book on full board, they'll use the closed vehicles. But 𝗬𝗏 has just upgraded their vehicles. Absolutely stunning leather trimmed seats, and everything, fridges in the back, and it can fold down on the sides. So if you get a bit of bad weather, absolutely amazing experience. You feel like a rock star, just sitting in this spiffy vehicle, and then everybody else is driving past you in a closed vehicle. Some of them are a little bit older. We've got brand new. It looks amazing. Very, very well done. And then next we're heading into 𝗬𝗏 Serengeti. That's in the central Serengeti. For those of you that have been up there, it's in Makoma Hills area. So that's about it's like an hour and 20 minutes or so to the western side of Serenera. So super cool that you don't have all that air traffic going over you. We also situated in between these hills, where you've got prides of lions fighting over territory and things, but that also means that you've got no lights in front of you. You're almost in your own, although it's not private, it feels private. And then, just touching on the rooms, I did have somebody that commented a while ago that said to me, why is it always only girls in baths? So I said to him, well, I don't know. I don't know if anyone, you got the answer, but I definitely said to her while I was on the road show, I said to her, listen, I'll send you a photo of a guy in a bath, but it's going to be in the city lodge tonight. So decide what you want. We got girls in the bath here. It's absolutely stunning. Property is only about 3 years old now, completely rebuilt. Lovely, nice sunken fire pits. And then lastly, we're just finishing off So I think we're well on time. 𝗬𝗑𝗍𝗪 Zanzibar Boutique Hotels, this property is, they've got two properties, 𝗬𝗑𝗍𝗪 Beach, which is just, if you look on the map where Stone Town is, it's directly just to the eastern side of the island there in Pingwe. Absolutely stunning. They've got 𝗬𝗑𝗍𝗪 Beach and then 𝗬𝗑𝗍𝗪 House, which is in Stone Town. Again, a little bit of a different product, that because number one, it's nice and small. You only got 2 1-bedroom villas, 1 2-bedroom villa, and then you've got a 6-bedroom villa. So nice for families. And the 1-bedroom villas, we don't do kids in it. So really ideal for honeymoons and those things. The one thing that I can say to you is that here, again, everything is personalized. So if you're in a private villa, all your meals are done in your room. But if and on your beautiful decks and things, but if you want to do dinner or meals in the main area, absolutely you can do that. This is an example of one of the 1-bedroom villas. So it's like a double-story, beautiful views on the beach. As you can see, that lovely lady in the pool is showing us. The beach is just in front of her. But yeah, stunning property. The owner also, 𝗃𝗧 Danak, I think she is just so hip and happening, and she almost coined this little phrase that she said, you know what, it was tough to start this. I'm not from tourism, but we are really a cooler box to Condé Nast type of story, and I thought that was absolutely amazing. She is a restaurateur at her heart, so the meals she's got is incredible. They've got boho social that's here, and then lastly, just to finish off, we got 𝗬𝗑𝗍𝗪 House, that's in Stone Town. Again, nice small boutique hotel. We can easily facilitate the transfers in between that they include. So if you do have to spend the evening in Stone Town, and which you should, they can absolutely take you around and show you some of the best all around. They also got this incredible bar that's on the rooftop with a glass bottom in the pool that you can look up through the main area. So really stunning property. And that's 𝗬𝗑𝗍𝗪 Zanzibar. And that, everybody, is it. Thank you very much from my side. Thanks for listening. I think you're muted.
I'm so pleased that we managed to keep most people online. So thank you so much. And everybody around this table making space for us. We know how busy everyone is. Thank you. If there's anything, we'll send our follow-ups. But I'll also do just like a high-touch follow-up with everybody's email addresses and websites. And then I'll go into personal things, like a little We Are Africa Instagram reel. Look at that. It'll give you some insight beyond the ordinary, and that's what we wanted to bring to market with Around Africa in 80 minutes. And Eddie and myself already talking. We've got a really interesting technological innovation we want to bring to market. So thank you so much for joining us. This was our first little dip in the ocean. So
can you please see the question from Jeremy Locke on the questions and answers?
Let's have a look. Do you see it? So Jeremy says, Eddie, have a look at that. Permanent swimming on a permanent swimming beach, or is it affected by the tide going out?
So Jeremy, how's it? I hope you're doing well. It is affected a little bit by the tide, so it does go back a fair distance. What is nice though with it is because they on the edge there, they're just opposite of the Rock, that restaurant. But because they're on the edge there of a little hill, nobody walks past us in the front. So yeah, that counts again for a plus.
Excellent. I'm so grateful for these comments. People saying they've discovered new products. Thank you, everyone, for making space for us.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Have a fantastic day.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Sure, look at